Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for Wednesday. We have 6 games today starting at 7 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get started. As always, if you guys enjoy the videos, appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Yesterday, hit on FanDuel, missed on DraftKings. Played Giannis on FanDuel, which was necessary. Ended up getting to Jokic instead on DraftKings, which didn't work out. But let's see what tonight brings. Looking at the point guard plays today, you have LeBron at 10-8 going up against Portland. It is a good spot. Both teams on a back-to-back here. LeBron absolutely dominated Portland earlier this year, and I think it's definitely a good spot to go to LeBron, even with the Lakers having Davis and Westbrook in there. But 10-8 price tag on LeBron on a slate where he's the most expensive player. There's not too many other superstars to pay up for besides like Curry, but he's in a tough matchup going into Utah. DeJounte Murray's in a tough matchup, and he's priced way up to 10-6. So they're basically picking between LeBron, Cat, Davis, and then Derozan and Vooch. They're priced probably appropriately, maybe a little overpriced with Levine in there now. So definitely think LeBron is your best pay up on the slate. I'm not looking to get to Curry today, not looking to get to Murray or Westbrook. In the 8K range, I do like LaMelo Ball a little bit. The Hornets are shorthanded today, and they're a team that already likes to play an 8-man rotation when they are all fully healthy. So you could see just like 7 guys play a lot of minutes, and then maybe they throw in like an 8th guy just to get a handful of minutes as well. But without Gordon Hayward, and they're also missing Martin today, so you'll see LaMelo Ball played 44 minutes in regulation. Even though they lost by 15 last game, he should play a lot of minutes again today. So he definitely looks appealing. Same thing with like Van Fleet, just because he always plays a ton of minutes, and he's not that expensive at 87. So both of those guys look good. Even Donovan Mitchell can try to prioritize him if you wanted to. He's come back and he played up to 36 minutes in his second game back from missing about 4 weeks. Looked great out there. He had 5 stocks, but really he's going to shoot a ton on the team. It is a good, probably should be a close game against Golden State at home. So I do like Donovan Mitchell as your pay up at point guard. And then you have De'Aaron Fox, who probably will play on a back-to-back here, but now it's the same exact matchup as well, and they're playing at home again against Minnesota. You can definitely try to get to Fox if you wanted to at 77. We got a report that Giddey's only going to play around 30 minutes for the next handful of games, so that definitely hurts his ceiling. He's still playable, but he definitely doesn't look as good as other guys in that range because he's not going to play as many minutes. Simons, you can try to get to him if you wanted to at 73, but he is priced probably where he should be. And then in the 6K range, I do like Rozier. He got off to a terrible start shooting last game, finished with a respectable line of 37 fantasy points, but he had like nothing going into halftime. So I definitely think at his price tag, you can try to get to him. And then other guys would be like Jordan Poole, because they do not have Klay Thompson today, so he will be starting alongside Steph Curry. And then in the 5K range, in the bottom end, you have Kobe White, who should be starting today because they do not have DeSumo, who is out with a concussion, so you'll see White start. I think he looks like a pretty good value at 51, assuming he probably will play over 30 minutes, like take over DeSumo's minutes, who was playing high 30s, 38, 37. Even in a terrible game, just 4.5 fantasy points in 33 minutes last game. Maybe he was suffering from a concussion. Over at shooting guard, Levine is probably priced up at 91. Definitely like Donovan Mitchell over like Levine, over LeVert, over Edwards. Edwards has come back down to earth a bit last couple of games and just not really getting you the ceiling performance. He's had 2 of his worst games fantasy-wise in his last 4 with 14 and 10.5 fantasy points. That's just not going to get it done. Bridges looks good. He's another guy that's going to play huge minutes today. He's 78, played 42 minutes in regulation, had 5 stocks, which helped his fantasy line, but still should be a good matchup to kind of stack it up a bit against Chicago. And then in the 6K range, I still like Lou Dort a bit. Good price tag on Dort. He plays a lot of minutes, and with Giddey being limited to 30 minutes, you'll see Dort end up having to play a lot of minutes today, so definitely think you can try to get to him at $6,200 at small forward or power forward. Other picks would be like Kelly Oubre is going to play over 30 minutes off the bench. Maybe he starts if they decide to bring PJ Washington off the bench, but he should play heavy minutes. And at 58, coming off of an 0 of 8 performance from distance, definitely looks like he can get back on track with a bounce back spot, hopefully. They kind of LB had a good game yesterday, but he's priced up a little bit now at 44. I probably still like to get to is Winslow small forward. If he's 45 as well, power forward. So they need to price up some of the secondary guys on Portland, so they're not as appealing as they were yesterday. Moving on to power forward, Derozan Ciacom. I like Ciacom more than Derozan. It's a great matchup for Ciacom. He's been balling as of late, almost had a triple-double last game, and can't really ask for a much better matchup than going against the Thunder, who play bad and they don't play much defense. You can go Bridges a little bit cheaper, $1,600 cheaper, and then in the value range, Baisley looks fine, but he's priced where he should be. He's going to have a good game. At that price tag, you probably need like 35 to probably 35 you're looking for tournaments. He's shot the ball a bit better as of late, which is definitely something to keep an eye on. We do have a ton of value at center today, so especially if Rashawn Holmes happens to miss again. He missed with a personal reason yesterday. Don't know if he'll play again because that was late news that we got, so he might still be tending to that. But right now, I'll plug in Bridges at 78. I want to get to a couple of these Charlotte guys, and Bridges definitely looks appealing at his price. At center, you can probably get to like Siakam if you wanted to, or get up to Cat. But there are so much good value picks at center today. It starts in the 4K range with like Washington right at $4,900, but you have Azubuike at $4,000, who's played really well for the Jazz since he's been starting, and there's still no Rudy Gobert today, so he looks appealing. But I guess you can start with like Damian Jones. If there's no Holmes again today and he starts again, he's going to be the best value pick at center at his price. Then they even have like Czech Metu, will play some minutes at center, and then Collins played just 13 minutes and he had 27 fantasy points. So he's still going to be limited coming back, but as his minutes ramp up, you can look to him. Still looks decent as a tournament option, but definitely not as safe as like Jones if he starts, or like Azubuike. And then at the guard position, I'm going to plug in another Hornet, Terry Rozier at $6,900. Definitely going to be getting to a couple of these Hornets. You can go with Rozier or Ball. Even don't mind getting to like Oubre as a cheap option, but Rozier, another guy that's going to play over 40 minutes probably today. They just play such a tight rotation, and they're missing Hayward and Martin, that the rotation is going to get even tighter today. So definitely looking to prioritize them against Chicago. It should be a game that's going to be pretty good for fantasy with both sides missing some pieces. Chicago's a little bit healthier than Charlotte, just missing DeSumo, and they're still missing some of their bench guys like Caruso, etc. But I think that's probably one of my favorite games to target out of the 6. So that's about it for the DraftKings side. Let's go over to FanDuel. All right, on FanDuel, point guard plays, you have very expensive Murray at 10.6. I get to Curry, save $1,100. You can get to Mitchell if you wanted to at 88. But you do have LaMelo Ball at only 84, Van Fleet at 85. So you have a couple of other options if Garland plays. He looks good, but if they also have LeVert in there, then he's not as much of a priority. And then Giddey is 7K. He looks worse with the 30-minute limit now that he's going to be on, if the coach is telling the truth. Still like Simons at 68. And then Rozier is all the way down to 64. He's going to be looking like a great option to get to from Charlotte. And then in the 5K range, you can take shots on like Clarkson or Trey Mann at 47, or even like McLemore, but not too much other guys to like. Shooting guard, I do like Mitchell. Zach LaVine is pretty appealing at 8,000. Dort is 7K, so he doesn't look as good as he does on DraftKings. You do have other good plays here with like Kelly Oubre is only 61. It looks good on both sides. But going even further down in the 4K range, you have McLemore, but you have Kobe White at just 45. You should be starting at point guard today. More room for assist, more minutes. Even though you might get less usage playing alongside like LaVine and DeRozan and Vooch, he still should be handling the ball a little bit, and he should still be looking for his shots. He is a shooter. Small forward, like LeBron more than DeRozan today. 7K range, still like Bridges at 72. Looks way better than like Barnes, and Dort has played well, but I still like Bridges over Dort. And then 6K range, Oubre, Scotty Barnes, they both look appealing. And not too much other good options in the mid-range. And then 4K range, you're looking at like Justice Winslow, and you're potentially looking at Ellaby at 39. But I will go ahead and put in Bridges at 72. Power forward, looking at LeBron or Davis as your pay up here. Siakam is 10K, so it looks better on DraftKings. And then don't really have much interest in the 7K options here, especially if LeVert plays. But if LeVert doesn't play again, then you can look to Allen at 76. Barnes looks like a good value pick on the Raptors to get to. And, assuming Holmes doesn't play, you can look to some of the value here with like King played some off the bench, but check Metu's price. He's only center eligible. He's 43. Got Damian Jones. I think he's priced up a bit on FanDuel at 55. But I'm going to go ahead and put in LeBron James at 10-8. And then at center, you have Davis or Cat as your pay-ups. I guess Vooch is in the mix, but he doesn't look as good as the other guys. 7K range, I like Nurkic a little bit. We do have some more value you can look to here with Plumlee at 54, Azubuike at only 46, and PJ Washington at 49. Even like Check Metu will get some run if there's no Holmes, but I don't mind getting to Azubuike at 46 as of now. There's no Gobert, and he's looked really good in the time that he's been out there. Whiteside has looked okay some of these recent games, but they're still looking at least like a split between those center minutes, and Azubuike might get some more if he continues to play like he has been. So he does give you like 30-point upside at $4,600. So that's about it for the video. Thank you for watching. Best of luck tonight, and I'll see you all next time.